Alright, me hearties. I think we're recording. So we've made a small adjustment to the video setting. So running, turn the EV comp down to negative 0.5. Turn the color balance to manual mode to give it a little bit more lifelike and a little warmer. So set it for 5500K. We'll see how that looks. And then I moved the microphone. My little adapter that I was going to use for the Purple Panda did not come in today because Amazon gets about a third of my orders wrong or delayed or lost. They're horrible. But anyway, so I went ahead and moved this microphone and one of the air vents inside. I taped it up. So just one small vent in the chin that was blowing air on the mic. So maybe they'll cut down on some of the wind noise. So I've gone ahead and closed that with a little bit of duct tape, gaffer's tape, whatever. Actually, it's Gorilla tape, made with real Gorilla. Nothing but the good stuff here on Dave's Garage. So I've moved it into a little further away from my mouth. So maybe there'll be a little less blowout because I won't be shouting as much into it because it was about 1 inch from my lips. Now it's about 2 inches off to the side. So it should be a little better protected from the wind. And should be a little further from my mouth, which also means it tickles less because it's got that stupid cat whisker biscuit, whatever thing on there. I know it's not a whisker biscuit, that's an archery thing, but you know what I'm talking about. So we'll see. This is more of a test video more than anything, so seeing how the audio sounds. I'm on a different bike this time. All right, let's all go. We got Jonathan and Donna. 1, 2, 3. Ah, he missed the shift. Goober. His Street Triple RS should have raped me, but he sat there bouncing it off the rev limiter. Didn't catch the shift. Let me see if I can get him on the intercom and see what happened. Yo, Jonathan. Yeah, what happened? Yeah, you were just going. I'm like, see, normally every time I race you, it's from a dig, and you always, no matter what bike you're on, you always stall it. So I was like, I'll do a roll race, and I figure you'll be okay. And yeah, I was like, oh man, it's like he should have ripped me there. Yeah, so you were in first. I started in second, and well, because at that speed, the way mine doesn't rev out like yours, so I was 1 gear higher, but second gear was where I should have been for that. But yeah, I was like, wow, I'm pulling away from him, and then I hear the bah, 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 bah. I was like, oh, that's why. It's like pull up alongside. Okay, what did we learn? This way. Yeah, this seat is definitely more comfortable than the other one, than the aftermarket. It just doesn't look as good. Oh, the aftermarket one looks great. I think we lost Donna. No. All right. No, she did not sign up for the track day. she's been out of work for 2.5 months, and her job prospects aren't looking stellar at the moment. So, and also she hasn't ridden that much in a long time. Like, she doesn't ride a whole lot. She wants to get more into it this summer, and maybe after our trip up to Deals Gap, maybe she'll kind of get her riding groove back a little bit. But yeah, she's not ready for a track day right now, so we got other stuff to do. But so far it's going to be me, you, and I think Nick is trying to sign up for it. I don't think Jim is. I believe Cameron, probably Dean. So there'll be a few of us there. And yeah, Dean's been doing, he's been working on his channel and doing some good stuff. He's got himself aligned with the Aprilia dealership, so they're supplying him with bikes to go demo and shit. Yeah. Yeah. And then he was riding with Chase on Two Wheels, who's got like 1.5 million followers and like a big motorcycle guy like Yami Noob. And yeah, he's out riding. I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, I was like, I've been trying to get it together with these guys and do that kind of shit for years. Nobody will give me the time of day. Dean just walks in like, hey, you want to ride? Yeah, let's go. So good for him, but at the same time, it's kind of like, good for him. You know? That nuance is very important there in that tone. It's like, I'm genuinely happy for him, but I kind of want to kick him in the dick at the same time. So... But, yeah, so if Donna's not going, then we will trailer. I'll borrow her truck and I'll trailer the bikes, because I'm taking this. If I still have this, if TJ hasn't bought it by then, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do it mainly on the MT10. Yeah, because that's got the better handling and the quick shifter. Hopefully my Nitron shock and the spring, I'll have all the suspension done before the track day. If not, I'll just have to do it on the stock suspension, but whatever. And then we'll I'm taking this out for like 1 or 2 sessions just to get some good video for the channel. I haven't seen anybody else do a track day on this bike on YouTube. I've seen a guy go do 8th Mile drag strip, but nothing like really getting out on a big fast track like Road Atlanta and just giving it the beans. So yeah, it's not really that bike's element, but with all the work I've got in the suspension and tune and power and yeah, all that stuff, it's like it's ready for it. It'll be fun. So that should be a fun track day as long as the weather's good. Well, the problem in July and August is it can be, I mean, the track day where I was on the ZX14, I think it was the second ZX14 track day when I was just there with Jimmy, it was so abysmally hot, dude. Because it's like 97 degrees and high humidity, and you're sitting in the middle of an 8-acre parking lot. So yeah, when you're on track, it's fine. You got 150 mile an hour wind on you. But when you're sitting in the parking lot for 40 minutes between sessions, and the pavement is 125 degrees, just radiating heat, it was just awful. So if I can, as long as we can get somewhere where we've got power, then I can, I have the pop-up tent and a big floor fan, and then it's okay. Hydrate and sit in front of the fan in the shade, and I'm good to go. So, but I think this bike will be fun. I'll be surprised to see if it's better than my Z900 RS was. I think the Z900 RS, even though this has higher quality suspension, that chassis was a bit sportier. I think it was a little bit more composed. So I don't know, we'll see. But either way, it'll be fun, because it is fun to just take a bike like this and just wail on it. Whereas, like, in an R1, it's like, you got to be careful. I mean, that is a big track where you can put the power down, but you still got to use a little bit of common sense. This thing's only going to go 130, maybe I'll get to that speed on the back straight. So it's going to be all about braking as late as possible into a turn and having the torque to come off the turn. But I'll see you for about 2 turns and then you'll be gone. As soon as we hit any straightaway, you'll just be gone, and I'll have no way to catch that back up. I'll see you again when you lap me, when you pass me again. Yeah. Now when I get out there on the MT10, yeah, now I won't be lapping you because we're about the same speed in the turns. I'll just have way more speed than you coming off and rocketing down the straights. Yeah, I mean, I was hitting on the back straight on the Z900 RS, which again is the closest bike I had performance-wise to this. And I was hitting like 125, 128 on the back straight, almost kissing 130. On the ZX14, I was blowing past that. I was doing almost 140 on the front straight, which is a lot shorter, and you have to come down to that first gear 90-degree turn onto the front straight. I don't know how fast I'll get on this, but the MT10 should come off that. I should be able to get pretty close on the MT10, and I think I'll actually turn a faster lap time. I won't have the high end, I won't have the top speed on the back straight that I had on the ZX14. But the ZX14, I had to brake a lot earlier because it's got so much more weight. You don't think about it, but think about the amount of energy 100 pounds has. Like when someone throws a brick at you that's only like 10 pounds and they throw it at 30 miles an hour, like it could cave in your skull. Now imagine a 100-pound weight going 170 miles an hour. Like that would go through a car. If that was like a cannonball, that would go like through a car. So you have all that extra energy you have to brake and scrub off. So you gotta start braking earlier. On the lighter bikes that don't go quite as fast, you can wait a little longer and you can brake a little later, and then they'll slow down that much quicker. So it'll be interesting to see what my lap times are on the MT10. But with the quick shift and auto blip and all the other stuff that thing has going for it, and it's still pushing 150 to the wheel, I think it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, both of them got lap timers. I forget which one it is. There's look in your manual. I think when you turn on the lap timer, I think it's the where's your high beam? It's like a trigger switch on the front, right? Yeah, I think that's the one, which would make sense that we one of the bikes I had, it was like the starter button, and I'm like, if you're wide open on the throttle, you don't want to have to change your grip to move your thumb up to hit, you know what I mean? It was like a dumb choice for that. So I like the trigger style because you're just wide open. Your hand there isn't doing anything anyway. As you cross the finish line, click with your trigger finger. Yeah, it's not like a transponder. So what you do is as you go around, once you're at speed, your first hot lap, once you're actually going full out, when you cross over the finish line, hit that button and that'll start the timer. And then the next time you come around and you go over that same finish line, you click the thing again and it'll stop, give you your time, and then it automatically starts the next lap. And then you can go and review them. The Aprilia did it a better way, where if you get the Bluetooth module, you can put the map for the track. They have all the tracks in there, and you put the map for the track into the ECU, into your phone, which is in your pocket in your leathers, and it pairs to your bike. And so it knows where you are on track, but then you've also got all your telemetry data from the bike. The Aprilia Tuono and the RSV, they know your lean angle, they know your braking power, what gear, RPM, speed, and how much brakes you're applying. So you can actually download all the data after the session, and it'll show you going around a track. You'll be able to see, where you were, what you were doing, what the bike was doing. You can go a step further and say, you got your different ride modes, your engine mode, engine braking, throttle, all that shit. You can go in and say, look, turn 1 is a sweeper. I want less traction control and I want to have my bike do this, and you say, this is what I want for turn 1, this is what I want for this turn, and it downloads it in the bike so that as you're going around the track, the GPS knows where you are. So you go, when you come down into the last turn, right before the back straight, you come down the hill under the bridge, and it's a hard right. And you're typically down in like first gear because you got to really come on the brakes, and then you zip through that 90-degree right and just start blasting down the front straight. So on that one, you want to turn up your wheelie control and your traction control. You don't want to be fighting wheelies and fighting the bike. You want to just go, right? But then you get to turn 1 and it's a sweeper. So you tell it what you want the bike to do for each turn, and you don't have to dick around with buttons as you're going down the track. It'll just make the changes electronically for you so that by the time you get to that next turn, it's already got your preferred settings in it ready to go. Tell me how cool that is. That's Aprilia. Aprilia is a racing company. They're a small manufacturer, but their blood is racing. And so all that technology, they put in their street bikes for at least most of them, the ones that people are likely to take on track. It's a really, they've been doing that for a couple of years now, but that is an amazing system to say, okay, if I'm at Barber, these are the settings. I want this at Charlotte's Web. I want this on here. And you say, these are the settings I want. And you just download it into the bike. And then based on GPS, it knows where you are and what settings you want. That is some cool shit. Yeah, so Jake's bike does that. So does Dean's. Because Jake's got that new... I told him he should have gotten the Tuono. Yeah, and that's the one I used to have. The Tuono is the better street bike by far. Because you put a pipe in a tune and you're still rocking 175 horsepower at the wheel. It's an absolute monster. But it's upright, it's comfortable, you can go and do a small trip on it. You got cruise control, everything. Jake's got the RSV4 whatever, which is 217 horsepower, so probably like 188, 190 at the wheel. But it's a race bike. It's got wings. You're like ass down or ass up, head down, which is maybe his normal. That's Cameron's normal position. I don't know about Jake's. I mean, in the personal life, ass up, head down, not necessarily on the bike. So yeah. Yeah, I love Aprilias. My next bike may be an Aprilia. If I was only going to have one single bike and say, okay, this is the only bike I'm going to have, it would be an Aprilia Tuono. As much as I love the MT10, the Tuono is everything I love about the MT10, just a little bit more, but it's also got the wind protection. And so when you are on track, when you do want to do a high speed run, that makes a big difference, having that half fairing. It's not really a naked bike. It's a half fairing bike. And so that bridges the gap between R1s and RSVs and Panigales and something like the MT10 or that. So you truly have leader bike performance, but you actually have some comfort. So now that we got a dealer in Dallas now. Across the street from where you bought that bike is an Aprilia dealer now. Yeah, they're part of the same dealership, so they got 3 locations now. The one in Savannah, which is where I bought my bike and where Dean bought his bike. Then they have one up in... Well, I don't know if it's the same dealership, but there is an Aprilia dealership in Greenville. Or Charlotte. Maybe it's Charlotte. But now that we have one here in Atlanta, yeah, it's across town. It's a little bit of a pain in the ass to get to. But honestly, other than warranty work and valves, the valve jobs, you really don't need a dealer for much. So... every 12,000 miles, although if you're riding that bike at Aprilia hard, do it at 6 and then do it at 18. Go 6,000 early and you will, if you ride the bike hard, you will probably find that they are out of spec by 6,000. So you do it every 12,000 miles. That's one thing on my MT10. I think the valve interval is 24 or 26,000. Yeah, it's way up there. Yamaha makes a really good motor. yours is every 12,000. You'll have to get the valves done. But you can pay Brian Stokes to do it if he's not busy. Instead of going to the dealer and taking months, if Brian's got the time, you can pay Brian to do the valves. Yeah, it's a little bit of a drive, but whatever. You know, I follow you up in the car, bring you home, because he's got to do it when the bike's cold, so you got to leave it with him overnight. But, you know, it might cost you $500 or $600, or I don't know what Brian charges, but he's the best drive tech in the country, so I would let him do it. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my camera. I think I've got enough video here to see what I made some changes to the settings and moved the microphone, and I do wish I could get really on the gas, but I guess rev it before. I was having problems with the audio crackling under wide open throttle because the noise is so loud, it's just overpowering the mic. So I've been playing around with it, trying to get it to not do that. Jake, I think so. All right, you ready, Jonathan? Pull up alongside me, man. All right, you do whatever gear you want. You go to first if you want. I'm in second. 1, 2, 3. You pulled away, but I'm going to be honest. You did not pull away as bad as I was expecting. I mean, you clearly walked away, but you were only like 3 bike lengths ahead of me. Well, why would you not pull the throttle back all the way? God damn it, that's the whole point of doing a drag race, to compare mine to yours. If you just... All right. Drop into the gear, you half-wit. Freaking... All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's more like it. That was much better. I was just like, I can't believe he didn't pull away. Oh, I didn't pull the throttle all the way. Who drag races at half throttle, you dick? Oh, this guy. Yes, I was recording at that time, including the part of me calling you a dick. Oh, it's like, what a twat waffle. All right, now I did not. Hold on a second, I'm done recording. I'm gonna chew up my battery. I might vlog on the way home, see what the low light is like.